Why is he following me? I lived in this hovel of an apartment for 3 weeks now, and that was enough to scare me out of here. Why, you may ask? Well, it all started the very first night there. I brought a suitcase holding a very spare amount of clothing because the look of the apartment scared me enough, so I planned for it to be a temporary home. The receptionist was kind enough and gave me a room key to room 22 on the 3rd floor. The place screamed unprofessional, so I didn't expect much. I pressed the 3rd floor on the elevator, and there was when the nightmare started. I spent the rest of my day lounging in my room on my phone, my fingers aching from scrolling on TikTok. By the time there was a knock on my door, it was maybe 8. I stood there tiredly and pulled open the door to a man. His silver eyes with heavy bags under them, and they twitched every few seconds. He had worn out clothes embedded in dirt and lounged as he stared at me. His reeking hairline spoke for itself. He looked like he was in maybe his 30s. I looked at his chest for a name tag of sorts in case he was an employee. He held my gaze for a good minute before I spoke. Hello? I muttered, staring at his blank expression. Hello, I said, more roughly, but the man just stared. I blinked and the man was just gone like that. I bit my lip, unsure what to think. Maybe I was imagining things. Maybe I needed my daily cup of coffee. Whatever it was, I decided to let it go and went to lay down on my bed. But that wasn't the last time I was going to see him. I fell asleep at maybe 9 and woke up at 6 to a loud banging at my window. I was sure it was going to shatter into a billion pieces, but it didn't. It held its place until the banging stopped. I don't know what I was thinking, not getting up to look at it. But that entire time I just laid in bed, my eyes wilted and the sound of shot through the air. I was tired and needed coffee. I headed down to the breakfast buffet, if you can even call it that. The options weren't very plenty. I grabbed the thing that looked the most like breakfast food, a turkey sandwich, but a buttload of mayonnaise, and an odd side of ketchup? Yep, that's right, the most breakfast food. The other options were French fries, just French fries, and a burger. No coffee, not even tea. God, I was bound to go crazy in here. I sat down at a table full of crumbs and sighed. Placing my plate down, I began eating, and then the same man from earlier sat down in the seat next to me, his breath on my neck, and he was close, too close. I scooted away and said, Sir, I'm sitting here. You'll have to find another seat. The man said nothing and scooted closer. Sir, I almost yelled out. I had a very serious thing about personal space. I got pissed off with the man's antics and stood up with my plate to sit down somewhere else. The man followed and I got a new seat. He also followed. I growled, standing up and leaving the buffet. The man continued behind me like a ghost. I got into the elevator and he followed. I started to run down the hallway to my room. I unlocked the door and the man an inch behind me, his breath on my shoulder. I slammed the door on his face and I laid down into my bed. Loud banging noise and my door. He just wouldn't get a hint, would he? The same schedule continued for 2 days. Why was he following me? Everywhere I went. I got tired of this and just accepted I had a shadow. I went to the store, he came with. I went to the laundromat, he followed. As long as I would sit there, writing on my bed, I wondered if I should post this. 1 second, I just got a notification. I just opened it. It said, Room 22 on the 3rd floor is now following you on Instagram. Why is he following me? I'm so sorry. This is so short. I just need people to understand the situation I'm in. He's outside my door now. Oh God, he has a knife. And this is the one comment that this post has. Secure the door and arm yourself with something. Call 911. I hope you're well.